So I'd like to tell you a little bit about why we're likely to misassess what our participants need, specifically on the high elements, but throughout the entire program. And I call this the paradox of risk. And it looks like this. And the paradox of risk basically says, I need to feel safe with you before I will take on any real risk. If you remove the pressure I feel to perform, I will make better choices and will amaze you with the risk that I take. When I feel safe with you, I will risk more. I was always taught that people come to us in their comfort zone. They show up, hey, they're in a comfort zone and you need to get them out of that. So let's do some icebreakers and let's look like a chicken and let's walk around backwards and go backwards with our hiney pointed towards other people. Let's do all these things to get people out of their comfort zone. Let me tell you something. You create such an incredibly unsafe environment for certain people in your group when you put them out there and make them look goofy. In a corporate group, you'll lose 2/3 of your group in the first 5 minutes when you're too goofy with them because they don't want to look that way. If you've got a lot of introverts who don't want to have attention call themselves and don't want to look bad, you're losing them, you're driving them out, and they're going to spend the entire experience hiding from you from the rest because they don't know the next time that you're going to, in their mind, attempt to humiliate them. You can't drive somebody out of their comfort zone. When you try to drive a person out of the comfort zone, or when you want to, or when you do, they end up out in a place called risk. And risk is the place of adventure. When we get out in risk, there's actually the chance of having these great, wonderful, amazing breakthrough experiences, which is why I am in the industry. I had those experiences. I had breakthroughs you cannot possibly imagine as I went into the challenge course industry in the years since. I believe completely in the value of experiential education. I believe passionately in the power of a challenge course, an intentional challenge course experience. But I now know beyond a shadow of a fact that I have no idea what you need today to grow. And I cannot hold any attachment to you doing certain things with the belief that you'll have certain outcomes. So I have to step back from all the things that I believe. And here's some of the things that I believe. The facilitator's dilemma is the first one, I call it. My success today is tied directly to yours. If you don't get to the top, catch the bar, step off the zip line, then I have failed. In any time, in any element out there, did you feel that if a person didn't complete the activity, that somehow you would let them down? Okay. The conflict of intent. I promised you choice today, but my language and actions when you struggle will suggest that I want you to keep going past your stated goal or the point that you stall and freeze. The fallacy of your experience. If you do what I did, you will learn and feel what I did and have the same gains that I do. The misassessment. I know what you need, I know what you're feeling, and I know why you did that. The limits of your responsibility. Even though you may be absolutely right in what someone needs to overcome or to accomplish, you could be completely correct in your assessment. You should consider whether making it known or forcing them to take those tasks is the right goal for the day. You might be right, but it is your choice and your authority to shove them, push them, propel them, even with the best of intentions, to that end. There's a way around all these. So, and then there's the curse of Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Actually might be the solution too. Deep breath. So in the work that we do, I was taught that they come in their comfort zone and my job is to get them out into risk. So we do these icebreakers to warm them up and stuff and get them ready to go out and have all these big adventures. Beyond risk is an area called danger. Let me define the three. Comfort zone is a place where I'm in a state called equilibrium. It's a physics term, and it means that the force of all The sum of all forces is equal to 0. There's nothing pushing or pulling on me. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I might be happy. I might just be relaxed. You can learn in the comfort zone. You can learn lots reading a book in the comfort zone, watching a video, watching somebody else's. You can have very cool learning. But it's more visceral, it's more powerful, it's more moving when it's your experience. So when people end up out in risk, they enter a state of disequilibrium. And that means that the sum of all the forces is out of balance. What makes a zip line work? Disequilibrium. You got the higher point launch and the lower point landing. You put the trawling person on there, and they go zipping away. So I won't tell you what I think of modern zip lines, but what's that? I will. The most dangerous element, the most deaths in the challenge course industry is the facilitator using the zip line. The facilitator launch is the #1 possibility of a person dying is the person launching people on the zip line. Guess who's second in line? Person on the other end receiving them. Guess who's third? Participants. Midline collision with stuff. Danger is real. The work that we do, if you climb a pole without a belay system, it's dangerous. If you climb a pole with a belay system, it's risky if everything is in good position. The material's in good shape, you've got a competent person, there's good communication, a good program, it's risk. Without those things in place, it's dangerous even with a belay system. An inattentive belayer. Comfort zone, risk, and danger. I was initially taught that my group arrives in the comfort zone. I now know from experience that when people show up in my program, they show up where? They get off the boat, they get off the bus, they're at risk. When you walked in this doorway Thursday morning, my assumption is that, especially new people, that there's risk coming into a new setting. I don't know anybody, I don't know what's going to happen. How are they going to create a workshop? They come in at risk. My job as a facilitator is to assume, my assumption, my assessment that I will act upon is that there might be risk. And so I find a way to remove the risk by making people or creating a situation where people might choose to feel safe. Therefore, the #1 job of a facilitator starts here. It's to create the comfort zone. It's to bring the group together to create a safe place. All voices are heard. Everybody's opinion is valued. Everybody's choice is respected. That alone cuts a lot. You don't need people to feel risk when they walk in the door. You want them to feel comfortable at the earliest moment, and people get there at different times. So they arrive in risk. You have to establish the comfort zone, and then comes the time to get them out of the comfort zone.